Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking about moving out of the rental property that we are currently in and actually moving in with my family. And this is totally unexpected. Over the summer we noticed that we were losing a lot of different friends. Due to the pandemic, they were all moving away to move back with their own families. My wife and I actually don't have family in the area either. The nearest family to us is about 7 hours away. Now over the summer I was actually given the opportunity to work permanently remote, meaning I could move anywhere I really wanted to. So between losing our friends, being able to work permanently remote, and now having a growing family of our own, we decided over the summer it was the ideal time to move back to where we both originally grew up. So with that in mind, what we decided to do was tell our landlady that we'd be moving out by the end of the fall and moving up and buying a house up where we're going to be living. The challenge we are facing is that after attempting to buy house after house after house, every single house has fallen through. Now, during this entire process, my family has been telling us that we should just move in with them. They have a sizable house, so they're going to clear out one of the floors, and that would provide us more opportunity to save more money and be able to ride out some of this crazy housing market to see if it gets any better in the future. During this whole transition time, we thought, well, it was great for my family to offer, but in the meantime, we really wanted to just buy our own place. But here we are months later, unable to buy a property, not because we're not qualified. I have a good job, I have savings, I have all the qualifications in the approval letters from banks that I am fully approved to buy, but we are just unable to purchase. Houses are selling so fast that every single property we've put an offer in on has already sold and no one has accepted our offer. So what does this mean for us currently? Well, if you followed our videos up until now, you'll know that my wife and I spent 5 years paying off a lot of our debt in order to save and invest. We would like to invest in real estate and rental properties specifically. Our goal is to buy a property that is under what we can currently afford, so we still have the opportunity to continue saving, and then from there buying another property and turning the first one into a rental. Now ideally we'd be able to buy a duplex or even a triplex and have someone else rent out one of the other units, and that would help leapfrog us right into owning rental properties. So that's where we are at. We've paid off a lot of our debts, we have this goal to invest, we have money saved, but we are just simply unable to buy. So currently we are going to move in with my family and just use this as an opportunity to continue saving and be able to look for property in the area that we're going to be moving to. So that's what we are currently doing. But what are we doing for the future? What does this mean for us in the future? What this means is we are going to still use the same criteria that we are currently using in order to buy a rental property. Not every property in the market will make a good rental. There are some pretty straightforward calculators online and different apps that you can download where you simply plug in a bunch of numbers into your phone, into the app, and then you can run those numbers and see, is this going to be a good rental? If you were to take your dollars and invest in the stock market, you can expect somewhere around a 7% return. So if you're going to get into real estate, you definitely want to beat the stock market. So many people have a threshold of a minimum 10% return in order to invest in real estate. They think, if I'm going to go through the hassle of buying a rental property, I need to at least make a 10% return on my money, or it's not worth it. I may as well just put my money in the stock market. On average, rental properties return about 19% compared to the stock market's 7%. So you can see that the extra effort that it takes to get into rental properties will definitely pay for itself if you do it right. You just have to know your numbers and do the math and make sure everything lines up. And again, all you really need to do is download one of these apps that has a rental property calculator, and it's just going to ask you for what is the mortgage amount, what is your current interest rate, what do you expect as rent every month. It'll ask you a variety of questions, and once you punch everything in, you hit run, and it'll run the numbers for you and show you that, hey, this property over here will only produce a 4% return because it was very expensive and it's not going to get you a whole lot of rent, but a property on the other side of town maybe more favorable because it costs less and you might be able to get a little bit more money out of it. Regardless, you want to run these numbers for every property that you're going to buy to make sure it makes sense as a rental property. So for us, we want to buy a property and eventually turn it into a rental. So for anything we are buying today, I'm going to be running these numbers on everything to make sure that it makes sense for us in the future. But in the meantime, we're going to be kind of laying low, living with family, and saving a tremendous amount of money. So now I'm going to ask you, what are your financial goals? If you're in debt, what are you doing to pay off your debts? If you have a job, what are you doing to try getting a pay raise, either with the current company that you're at or another company that may pay you more? And then once you've paid off a lot of your debt, what are you going to do to invest? Everyone has a different method. Everyone has a different risk tolerance. Personally, we would like to get into real estate, but what would you like to get into if you had the opportunity to invest? You only really want to invest in things that you understand. So you may understand real estate really well, or you may be terrified of real estate, but you understand something else really well and you find it more comfortable to invest in that area. Where would you invest if you got to a point where you had extra money to put your dollars to work? With that, I hope you enjoyed this video and follow our journey as we go from here and trying to find a property that we can eventually turn into a rental. And also, if you could please like and subscribe. Thank you.